Keeping the golden goose laying them eggs, looking after it.
Don't take any risks.
Thing is, with Anthony Joshua, he's Olympic gold medalist, and in the UK, he's a massive star. He sells out stadiums, 70,000, 90,000.
Yeah. Huge star.
Huge star.
The reason I say it's a win-win for Jake Paul is because, listen, if he wins, then he's beating a former heavyweight boxing world champion, certainly one of the best heavyweights of his generation, and of course, a man that is way bigger than Jake Paul. Of course, it's a win. And if he loses, it's still a win for Jake Paul because he had the balls. He was man enough. He was willing to test himself. He would prove everyone wrong, all his critics.
I mean, it's come out of the blue, but it's intriguing. And I think from Jake's perspective, I think, he's had a lot of criticism about, he is a pro boxer now. The way you want to look at it, he trains as a pro, but, and he's fighting as a pro. They said it's about time he fought some.
Joe Rogan and Tyson Fury criticized Anthony Joshua's choice to fight Jake Paul, saying it seems driven by business, not competition. Fury argued Joshua should face real heavyweight threats like him or Deontay Wilder, not Paul, making the matchup look more like a money-focused decision.
Because this is a business at the end of the day. And if I was his management team, I'd say stay away from Fury, stay away from Wilder, and we'll just fight the rest of the people and keep making plenty of money. Why do we need to fight these?
Michael Bisping argues that the idea of Jake Paul fighting Anthony Joshua puts Jake in a uniquely safe position with almost no downside. He explains that Jake has crafted a career where even his risks turn into rewards. If Jake somehow beats Joshua, even through luck or a single perfect punch, he would instantly gain massive credibility for defeating a former unified heavyweight champion. But if Jake loses, Bisping says his image still grows because he stepped up to face a world-class heavyweight. For Bisping, all the pressure falls on Joshua, who must dominate or face serious questions about his status.
Like out there on an island by myself, everyone says the same thing, and he would potentially prove all of those critics wrong. Well, yeah, he would, maybe, unless there's some funny business, right? And for Anthony Joshua, as I said, this is kind of a lose-lose, right? Because if he wins, people are still going to say, well, you only beat Jake Paul, right? The man that lost to Tommy Fury, after all, right? That's the only loss in his record, Tommy Fury. You're telling me that Tommy Fury is going to beat him and then Anthony Joshua's not going to beat him? So if he beats him, he gets no credit. And if he loses, then holy can you imagine? That would be the biggest downfall of any boxer's career. The reality is, he's not going to lose. There is no way on this earth that Jake Paul can beat Anthony Joshua in a boxing match. That's just a fact, okay? Look at what he did to Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou hits as hard as a Ford Escort, going 100 miles an hour or whatever that stat was. Comes from the UFC. He was the UFC heavyweight champion of the world. Has a good go against Tyson Fury, but goes up against Anthony Joshua and gets flatlined. Every single punch that was thrown was landed, and every punch that landed put Francis Ngannou down, okay? So to stand there and think that Jake Paul, who's much, much smaller, who has way less experience, that doesn't weigh anything near him, is going to have a chance, and not to mention the technical abilities. Let's just talk about that. Not to mention the technical abilities or experience. We're talking about an Olympic gold medalist, remember, from back in the day, who's then gone on to become a true British boxing icon or a worldwide boxing icon, let's be honest, right? There's no way that he loses.
Joe Rogan points out that Anthony Joshua is an Olympic gold medalist and one of the most powerful punchers of his era. He believes Joshua would enter the fight looking to send a message, not just win. Rogan says Joshua would aim to dominate and make Jake Paul think twice about calling out true heavyweights.
Oh my God, if he beat Anthony Joshua, good Lord. Good Lord. I mean, that's a big if, right? I mean, Anthony Joshua,
I do not
Olympic gold medalist, former heavyweight champion of the world. What he did to Francis Ngannou, like, good Lord.
Yes.
Do you want that smoke?
Yeah, I just think it's all about the promotion or whatever. I have no idea what the actual motivation is for that fight's not competitive at all.
Well, it's a dangerous fight.
Yeah.
Because Joshua's going to try to make an example out of him, for sure.
And will.
I mean, Anthony Joshua's one of the biggest one-punch KO artists ever.
Yes.
I mean, he's a one-punch fucking night-night guy.
Yeah.
You know, he's a great boxer, you know.
Frank Warren views the situation with skepticism and blunt honesty. He says the entire discussion appeared out of nowhere, with Jake Paul clearly pushing for the matchup. According to Warren, Jake is tired of critics saying he only fights smaller or older opponents, and now wants a challenge that finally ends that narrative. Facing Anthony Joshua is the fastest way to do that. Warren adds that most promoters never expected such an idea to come from Jake's camp, making it feel more like a stunt. Still, he notes that Jake seems determined to prove he is ready for a real heavyweight test.
Them both. It's not a fight I even thought of. It's nothing to do with me to start with. It come out the blue, but it's intriguing. And I think from Jake's perspective, he's had a lot of criticism about he is a pro boxer now. The way you want to look at it, he trains as a pro, but and he's fighting as a pro. They said it's about time he fought some. I've seen some of the stuff, that's been said. When's he going to fight someone? Well, he's gone from one extreme to the other. That's what he's doing. So if that fight happens, you've got to take your hat off to him.
He got called out by Andre Ward, AJ. Would you rather see Jake fight AJ, which is obviously, as we know, a mismatch, or Andre Ward, who's been retired for, what, 4 years?
I'd much rather see AJ fight Tyson.
Oh, please. I dread to think how many times
we don't know if that's
going to
happen, because the big man, he's filming, he's not made his mind up what he's going to do.
Ben Davidson takes a far harsher stance on the idea. Comparing Jake Paul to Francis Ngannou's loss against Anthony Joshua, he argues the difference in levels is undeniable. Ngannou, a naturally massive heavyweight with real knockout power, still couldn't withstand Joshua's strength. Joshua dismantled him quickly and decisively, proving how wide the gap is between elite heavyweights and crossover fighters. If someone as powerful as Ngannou couldn't stay upright, Davidson believes Jake Paul has virtually no realistic chance. His point isn't to insult Jake, but to show how unrealistic the matchup becomes when judged by true heavyweight standards.
In terms of a fight, Francis Ngannou is one of the most durable men on the planet. And look at what happened there. I don't think he's good for boxing, if I'm honest.
I was about to ask, obviously, if we were to see him fight, AJ would be a heavy favourite with, I'd imagine, 99.9999% of the sport. How quickly would you expect to see Anthony Joshua get the job done against Jake Paul?
He could go in there and do what he wanted. He could play with him if he wanted to.
Spencer Oliver takes a completely different angle in his discussion with the analyst panel. He believes the matchup carries symbolic weight. According to Oliver, if Joshua accepted the fight, it would resemble what Muhammad Ali once did, taking unconventional bouts that attracted audiences far beyond traditional boxing fans. He says this kind of event could open new marketing doors and pull in millions who normally ignore boxing. Even if the competition isn't equal, the spectacle itself creates huge attention. Oliver adds that Joshua risking his reputation for something experimental shows how the sport is evolving. It could also boost Joshua's global reach, especially among younger fans who follow influencers more than boxers, allowing him to expand his star power and legacy on the entertainment side of the sport.